Hello, I'm Chris Thomas, and this is Land Flipping 101, where you can learn how to earn your financial freedom through land investing, even if you're a complete beginner with no experience, because I'm sharing with you how I'm successfully doing it. You see, I'm just going after larger payoff deals. I'm doing fewer deals, but I'm targeting retail values of at least $40,000 with the goal of doubling my investment and then, whenever possible, using simultaneous or double closing strategies to reduce risk and expenses. The key to my success has been consistent daily action. I put the property under contract to purchase with a 6-month closing. My contract allows me to market it on the MLS, and when I find a buyer, I just line up the closing of both on the same day and then simultaneously close with transactional funding for just a few hours. I really don't mind closing twice, even though it's a little bit more expensive, because I can earn at least 100% ROI. So my return, it makes it worth spending a little extra. So, there's enough room in the deal to justify the extra closing costs. Hi, Corey. Welcome and thank you. I appreciate you being here. All right, so you may have heard already, my first deal earned 412%. So here's the story on that one. A married couple had purchased the land back in 1974 and had since divorced. They'd remarried and moved on to 2 different states. And when they received my offer, they were very happy to close this final chapter from their previous marriage. And so they were going to split the purchase price, which was $34,000. And they thanked me, because when my partner and I researched the property, we found that over the years it had been rezoned to allow for multifamily. So for us as investors, we had a great opportunity to flip that piece of property, and we ended up selling it for $140,000. So a huge success, and I think at that point I was in. I love land flipping so much because I can do the whole thing online without ever visiting the property or even fixing anything. And it really fits my lazy lifestyle. It's what I like to say. Now, I do work very hard, but like today, I'm visiting my family members in Kentucky who need some assistance, and so I'm able to work the business from anywhere. I like to say I found some financial freedom and then some. So now I'm helping other people learn how to run a land investing business just like mine. Not because I want to sell training, but I created the training to help you get started in land investing. And for some of you, it may help you to get unstuck. You may have already started, but you're struggling. And still others probably just need help with funding. So you can go through my training, and when the deals start rolling in, you can joint venture partner with me, and I'll review the deal. I'll make recommendations and strategize with you on how to get it to closing. And look, I'm a real investor. I want to find more land deals. And so that's my motivation for making the training. In my own land business, I thought it would be helpful for you to see what my pipeline of business is as of today. Eric, I like that. I call it selective work ethic. I know, Eric, it's funny. Sometimes I tell people the thing I love about what I do is that I can do it from anywhere. The thing I don't love about what I can do is that I have to do it from wherever I am. So sometimes it can be inconvenient. But here's my pipeline. So right now, my team has 19 properties listed for sale. We have 3 signed deals, and I was looking at the wrong notes. So actually, we have three are signed, but they haven't been put on the market yet. So they're just in listing creation. So that's on top of the 19 listed for sale. So we have 3 more that we're getting the listing ready to go on the market. And then we have 5 properties right now that we're only really just planning to market to neighbors. These are landlocked, and they need various extra things done to them, like to get easements or things like that. We don't typically do. So if you know anyone who specializes in, easement properties or landlocked, they might be interested in these. But right now we're just focusing on neighbors for those. And I think one of them has an offer. So hopefully the other ones will also. All right, then we have 3 under contract to close right now. One is closing today. I did all the paperwork on it yesterday. Then I have another one planning to be closing on Monday. And one is, I'm hoping will close before the first. The third one is in Oklahoma, and we don't have a closing date on that yet. But in Oklahoma, you can't do a simultaneous close. They've passed a law that as of November 1st, there are no more wholesaling deals done. So we're trying to get that one closed before the first. But then on top of all of that, I have 27 other prospective sellers in my pipeline that are having some type of conversation with me about selling their property. They haven't said no yet, but they also haven't sent in a signed piece of paper. So as you can see, I mean, some of you have been asking me to review your deals, and I want to help you. It's just a little tough because my team is really busy with all the deals that we have going on right now. And plus now we're partnering with some people that we've been mentoring. So, it's good. It's a good business. I absolutely love it. Thankfully, we've automated and outsourced a lot of it, and we do continue to find ways to outsource so that our business can eventually run more like on autopilot. Corey, I see your note. It says, that's awesome. I tried wholesaling houses first and hated it. Stumbled across a 1.4 acre commercial lot in Southeast Houston, contracted it and sold it for $27,000 profit. You've been hooked on land since? I could not agree more, Corey. I think it's the best thing ever. And then there are people out there, I'm not doing this, but there are other people out there teaching to finance the deal. I'm kind of greedy, so I just want the cash. But I know a lot of people have set themselves up where they have a monthly income. So I personally am not doing that. Now I'm not speaking on behalf of my team, but just me personally, I'd like to put my proceeds into an asset so I can get some depreciation and then offset my tax bill because I'm going to have a big one this year. So Chris Land DeSisto said, you can't even double close in Oklahoma. Thought you couldn't assign contracts. Yeah, my understanding is they've passed a law against double closing or wholesaling. So, I mean, check with your attorney there, but that's what I've been told. I have another property for sale right now for like $240,000 or something, and I really want to get that one closed too, but I don't have a buyer for that yet, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. So please post any questions you have in here. I'd love to be able to answer them for you live, but I did glance through the Land Flipping 101 public page, and I saw some questions, so I'll start by answering those. So Suzanne Miller Graham said, do you accept and sign purchase agreement for every accepted blind offer? In other words, is there ever a piece of land that you wouldn't buy? And if so, what type of land is in that category? Okay, I like that question. No, I don't accept every single blind offer that gets signed. First of all, because when I price my blind offers, I'm using a software, and I'm really not taking a close look at the offers that are going out. I'm relying a little bit on an algorithm because I've tested it, or my team has tested it to make sure that it's accurate. And so we've become pretty reliant on that. And so when we do get a signed offer back, the very first thing I do is check. Do we agree that this is a good offer? Because we're trying to put offers out there that are at about 25% of the retail market value. So we're just double checking, doing a deeper dive on that. But most important, the number one thing I'm looking for when someone sends me back their signed contract is the price at 25% of retail? What is the motivation? Like, why are they selling? Because, you want to make sure you have the right type of customer. And I tend to buy from people who just don't want it anymore. They might need some cash, or they just don't want to pay the taxes, and they're tired of dealing with it. They're what I call non-wanters. And they're not necessarily tax delinquent. So I've heard a lot of rumors out there that people think you should only send to tax delinquent people, send offers, but I don't do that. I don't recommend that. So I hope that helps answer your question. And then the next thing I would just add to that is that the property must have access. If there is not legally deeded road access to a publicly managed road, that can be a deal killer. I mentioned the 5 I have that I'm only marketing to neighbors. Well, all 5 of those are landlocked. Now, I don't believe that it's legal, to landlock a property. So there is always a way to get access to your property, but it is a process. It does involve attorneys. It involves negotiating with neighbors to see if you can get access to cross their land. Usually you have to pay them something, and I just don't typically go through all of that work. Hi, Regina Brown. I see your comment. It says, I could use a contract where we put seller on a contract and assignment could be made to buyer for a marked up price. Yeah, that's another strategy for sure. And then I saw a note in there, Franklin Jules asked, how do you establish an offer price? And so I started to allude to this, Franklin, a little bit, but what I do is just look at recently sold comparable properties to come up with an offer price that's like on a per acre basis, and then apply that to the subject property and apply that same price per acre. I hope that helps. Then I take 25% of that price. So I call that the retail market value because that's what other properties have sold for. So that tells me that's what the market will bear. And then I just take 25% of that price. So it's kind of an average of the best comps, I guess, is how we do it. Oh, Hazel, I see your note. Could you briefly explain landlocked? Of course. What that means is that there is no road access to the property. So you need to have a way to access the property. Otherwise, you can't do anything with it. Hope that helps. Hi, Blake Rutherford. I see you asked how much mail did everyone send before you hit your first deal? Well, it depends on a lot of things, as you can imagine, Blake. It depends on how expensive the property is, how many acres it is. So it's really going to depend on your target criteria. So most of you probably know my criteria is that I'm sending mail out to owners of 5 or more acres that is valued at least $40,000 retail. So then I can make an offer that's around $10,000 and profit at least $20,000 and make 100% return. So for me, when I send out about 1,500 pieces of mail, I can usually find between 1 and 3 motivated sellers. 1 to 3. Now, sometimes I'll get 3 contracts back and only one of them will actually go all the way to closing. So it kind of depends, but I get good response with 1,500. And then also, Blake, I would say I'm distributing my mail off to multiple counties. Okay, so I'm not sending 1,500 to one county. I'm kind of sending out a bunch of, like, I'm casting a wide net because I want to figure out what areas are going to be responsive. And then when I find an area that hits, then I can go back and send more mail to them. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. I would also add to that just the lower the price of the retail price of the property, the faster it's going to sell, right? Because most people have smaller amounts of money than they have larger amounts of money. So keep that in mind too. Probably the $2,000 to $10,000 range will sell the fastest, but you'll have to do a lot more transactions to make the same money. I'm averaging. I did analysis a few months ago where I had averaged like 55,000 on the previous 10 deals I had done. So I don't know if that's still the case. I probably should go back and look at it again. Before that, I was thinking it was around 35,000. So I'm doing fewer deals, but I'm doing bigger deals. All right, let's see. Kevin Pierney, thanks for asking, how and why are you using an attorney at closing, and is it required in Tennessee? Well, in Tennessee, my closings are with a title company, but all title companies, or I should say, in Tennessee, all title companies have an attorney on staff. But conveying property is a legal procedure. Title companies provide the title insurance. The attorneys make sure everything is done legally. So some states are title states, some states are attorney states. In Tennessee, it is title, and like in North Carolina, it's an attorney. So it just depends on the state. So it depends on where you are. And I highly recommend you go ahead and find the person who's going to be your escrow officer for your closings before you start your mail, so you just understand what you're allowed to do and how, if you've got the right person who can do it.